so this is my 99th video for the channel, um, and it's going to be an unboxing without the box because I decided I'm going to do an unboxing but a review as well of the comics that I got from last week. These just came today. They normally come around about Thursday or Friday during the week, but for some reason were delayed. So just 5 issues, and I've read them all. That's why they're unboxed and unwrapped. I'll give you my viewpoints on each of them, and I'll let you know which one or which ones are my favourites of the week. Before I do, like I said, this is the 99th episode. Next episode will be the 100th. I'd like to do something special. I did put something on the community about leaving some questions. It can be general questions about anything like what's my favourite films, favourite directors, favourite authors. Doesn't have to be comic related. Obviously keep it clean. But yeah, if you want to leave any questions, then by all means do leave them underneath, and I'll compile the questions and do a Q&A for the 100th episode. If not, if that doesn't happen, then I'll do something else. Okay, but anyway, I'll move on with this. Still recovering from my last episode where somebody wasn't happy about my review of Betsy Braddock, Captain Britain. I think they missed the point because they were going on about Betsy Braddock, the character, saying I should stop being a hater and whatnot. I wasn't hating it. I love Captain Britain. I just don't like badly written comics, and that was a very badly written comic, especially when it's a character that I really, really love. So there we go. But that's by the by. On to the review of last week's comics. So the first one is Nightwing 101. And now this is a $4.99 comic. So it does have extra pages. First story was okay. It was fun. It's not Bruno Redondo on the artwork in this issue. It is Travis Moore, and he's not Bruno Redondo. Just put it that way. It's clean. It's nice, but it doesn't have the same flair as Bruno. But yeah, the story's okay. Nice introduction to the Titans. Can't wait for the Titans comic when that comes out. I think it's May when that comes out. But there's a backup story, and it's pointless. I don't want to show too much because it does have a big twist at the end. But yeah, there's a backup story about Nightwing and Superman, John Kent. It's not written by Tom Taylor. It's written by somebody else. Who's it written by? C.S. Pacat. It just serves no rhyme or purpose. I don't understand why they've done it. I don't mind. I love the thicker format comics, but I don't like the idea of being forced to pay $4.99 when I just want to read the main story. I'm not bothered about. It's a pretty cheesy backup, to be honest. So for that reason, I'm only giving this 6.5, 7 out of 10. When not, if it had just been the main comic, I'd give it 8 out of 10, not 5. 8 out of 10 instead of what I've given it. So yeah, main story, fun. Second story, very underwhelming. So there we go. Great cover, by the way. So that's Nightwing 101. And next up is Year Zero, Volume 0, number 5 of 5. I've been singing the praises of AWA ever since I started this channel, especially the Year Zero range of franchise. The original series were written by, the volume 1 and 2 were written by Benjamin Percy. This one's written by Daniel Kraus, who's been heavily involved with the estate of George Romero. So he knows his zombies, and it's a really good global story that covers the outbreak of the zombies. But with this one, it's even more wider scope, and it's now saying that the outbreak actually started centuries before, not just in the 21st century, but way, way, way before then. So it jumps back, I suppose, in time as well, which is quite interesting. But all the characters are so well fleshed out. The only thing that I feel annoyed about is that it is just 5 issues. I could have happily read this for a 12-issue series. It just felt like they cut short a lot of the story just because they had to finish it in 5 issues. But on the flip side, it's kind of good comics. I give this about an 8 out of 10. Really good, strong series. And then this was nearly a contender for Book of the Week, but I've chosen 2 for Book of the Week, and you'll see why. But this is Deceased number 6, and I've been collecting these covers because these are just so nice. These are the acetate covers, so you've got the symbol of the Flash, and then the zombified Kid Flash. But yeah, this is how you do an event series. I've just loved the whole Deceased universe. He's definitely going out with a bang with the final series. Great artwork by Trevor Herzine. I think it's Andy Lanning on the inks. Yeah, Andy Lanning on the inks, who I think he did. It was part of the writing partnership of Dan Abnett at one point, DNA. But he's also an accomplished artist as well. But the artwork's really cool. The storyline is so cool. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger each episode, and you just have no idea where it's going to go. I don't want to give too much away. All I can say is buy it. If you've not been collecting the floppies, definitely get the trade paperback when it comes out. And then I've got joint books of the week: Junkyard Joe number 5 and Superman number 1. So Junkyard Joe is by Gary Frank on arts, Brad Anderson on colours, and Jeff Johns writing. 6 issue series. The quality of the comics, $3.99. Quality comics, so good. Cardstock cover, really, really high quality thick paper inside as well. Artwork is stunning. This comic has not disappointed from issue 1. It gets better and better with each issue. And again, like the previous zombie comic, the Year Zero, this comic, I don't want it to end. I don't want to go into too much. All I can say is buy it. It's such a human. It's bizarre when you're saying it's a very humanistic, emotional comic when it's about an android who doesn't speak, doesn't really have emotions. But yeah, it's got so much. But what I've noticed, and I don't know if anybody else has noticed, with Gary Frank, when he writes a comic, unless it's like a big double issue, his standard comics, no matter what company he works for, from his creator-owned ones to DC with the Justice League, Justice Society and Stargirl, they're all 20 pages when the comics normally in DC or Image 22 pages. But yeah, they're all 20 pages. I mean, I'm not too bothered because of the high quality of the comic, but I just wonder why. He does with any comic he does recently. They've always been just 20 pages of story. When other comics from DC, and the normal comics are 22 pages. The same with Image. So yeah, bit of an aside. It doesn't relate to anything, but yeah, easily one of my comics of the year and one of my comics of last year as well. I've just loved this series, and I'm just sad it's ending in next issue. But it'd be interesting to see what comes out next in the Geigerverse. So yeah, 10 out of 10 easily. And another one, oh yeah, the Deceased I'd give 9 out of 10. Another one I'd give 10 out of 10 is the new Superman comic, Dawn of DC, by Josh Williamson and Jamal Campbell. I think Jamal Campbell did the Naomi series. $4.99, and I was like, oh my god, $4.99 for a 32 page comic, but then I realised it's 32 pages and no adverts, so I could cope with that. First of all, the artwork is just jaw-droppingly beautiful. Possibly one of the best Superman artists I've ever seen. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. And the character interplay is just amazing as well. And I love that where they use his cape to do flashbacks of his life story. Yeah, it's just a perfect introduction to Superman. You don't need to know anything of Superman with this one. You can jump straight in. I love action comics, but with that one, it's very lore heavy. This one's not. They set up a new status quo for this one. And I love the interaction between him and Jimmy, between Clark and Jimmy, and Clark and Lois. Lois is stepping in for Perry White for the time being. So she's becoming a female Perry White, which is quite humorous. I just love the whole interplay. They've got the characters down pat artistically as well. I love modern but classic look of Jimmy Olsen, and I love how he's really not hiding the muscles of Clark Kent now. He really is just Superman with a jacket on. But yeah, it's just fantastic, and the interplay between between Superman and Lex Luthor is just so good. I don't want to go into too much with the plot because they set up some interesting dynamics in the story, which will ruin it if I mention it. Suffice it to say, it's pretty much a game changer for the dynamics between Lex and Superman. Yeah, and he writes such a cool Lex Luthor. I've always liked Lex, but if you write him badly, it can just become annoying. Whereas he's written as a villain, you kind of cheer on because he's just so devious, and Josh Williamson really has got the voice of Lex down pat. And of course, there's also an appearance by Livewire from the animated series, who's a firm fan favourite. And yeah, again, just written so well. It's a great wraparound cover as well. I mean, that artwork is just gorgeous. It's just a perfect number one. This is how a number one comic should be. When, not to dig up old dirt again, but when you compare it to, say, the Captain Britain comic, which was so confusing, so clunky, so scatological, when you compare it to this, which is precise, compact, the artwork just sings. It's gorgeous, from the colouring to the lettering, and the pace of the story is great. You don't ever feel confused or lost in the story. It just moves you along. Yeah, it's a perfect superhero comic. It's a perfect Superman comic. I feel like we're getting into a new golden age of Superman titles, which we've not had since the Byrne, Wolfman, Perez, and Jerry Ordway period from the 80s, which was just chef's kiss great. And I feel like this is going to be on equal footing. I mean, they've got the new Superman miniseries coming out soon with John Kent, and then Superboy as well. So yeah, it's a good time to be a Superman fan, which I've always been. I've always liked the lightness of Superman. It's a nice contrast to the darkness of some of the other DC heroes. And Josh Williamson has captured the fun, vibrant spirit of Superman without losing the action pace and the excitement. So yeah, another 10 out of 10. So, but this is how it should be. I mean, if you're buying comics on a weekly basis and you're moaning about your comics, you're doing something wrong. You need to be. It's your money. At the end of the day, it's your money, and you should not buy comics that you don't enjoy just because it's because you like the character. I love Captain Britain, but there's no way in hell I'm going to get the next Captain Britain #2 unless they completely do another reboot and get somebody on, like, they need an English writer at the end of the day. They need somebody like Dan Watters, Ramvi, somebody, one of the current string of new, fresh English writers, Al Ewing even, or somebody like that who's got a grasp of, I'd say especially Ramvi, who's got a grasp of that kind of like that sensibility, British sensibility, because it's bad anyway. But let's leave that alone. But this is what you should do if you're not enjoying your comics, stop them and get something else. Like my next batch of comics I'm getting, I'm going to be trying the new Cosmic Ghost Rider. And now I said I'm stopping Marvel, but I'm going to carry on with a few. And again, I'll do sticks to my guns. If they do crossover, I'll stop them. So I'm going to give Cosmic Ghost Rider a chance because I love Stephanie Phillips. And I'm going to be trying Doctor Strange when it comes out because I like Jed MacKay on Doctor Strange. I'm not bothering with Avengers because that will cross over. I might just get it in book form when it comes out. And I'll also be getting what was it now? I'll be trying the Guardians of the Galaxy. But again, if there's any big crossover events that interrupt them too much, I'll just stop the series. That's my policy for Marvel now. So that's it. So this week, there'll be another unboxing, but that'll be my 101 episode. I'll do something special for the 100th. But like I said, if you've got questions, please leave them in the comments so I can compile them. If not, I'll have to do something else. Okay, but that's it. See you soon. It's been a bit of a long one this time. But anyway, take care. Have a nice week. Enjoy your life. Enjoy what you're doing, and enjoy what you're reading as well. If you don't enjoy it, stop it and get something that you do enjoy. Okay, bye.